Welcome to On the Ball. My name is Gabriel and you're listening to Talking Points. This is the show where we discuss anything Premier League related, and today is a special episode because we've got a special guest with us. His name is Thomas Banza. Thomas, how's it going?
What's up, man? I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing fantastic as well. Now, for those of you who don't know, Thomas stays in Hungary, so we're doing this remotely. We are following social distancing protocols. We are in the tough times of the coronavirus pandemic that's busy plaguing the world at the moment. And it's not just footballers who are unsure about what's going to happen, about what's going on. It's everybody around us, and that is basically what we're here to discuss. That is, we're going to be discussing phase 1 of Project Restart. If you're unfamiliar with Project Restart, it's what the heads of the Premier League are calling the return to the 2019-20 season. As you all know, we really want football to return. And these are the steps of the slow phasing they're taking to return, with phase 1 being a return to training. I believe you've heard about phase 1 of Project Restart. I believe you've heard about Project Restart as a whole, Thomas. Am I wrong?
I'm aware of it. I think, well, I'm not too sure about the specific details of Project Restart, but I think what the FA, more specifically, they're trying to copy what the Germans have done so far, and I don't think it's a good move by them, given the high rates of coronavirus cases in the UK at the moment. But maybe it's a risky move to take, but maybe it might pay off. I don't know. We'll have to see how the first training sessions go. I know that some football teams have already started training since Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So you're leaning more on the side of not having training take place, or that the UK isn't ready to return to football?
Yeah, I really don't think that they're ready to return to football just yet. If they could reduce the number of cases significantly, then I would say that they are ready for it.
Or at least have some kind of protection.
Yeah, but again, I mean, if they'll be playing behind closed doors, and if they can reassure that all the players have been tested, then it might be a move to make. But I'm against it for now. So I wouldn't. If I was part of the FA, I would definitely vote against restarting at this time.
No, I do get that. I know that they did have a vote, and it was unanimous that phase 1 could proceed, where the players were allowed to return to training. Obviously, they would have to follow some social distancing protocols, so they would train at a distance from each other. They would train with some sort of protection on as well, perhaps gloves. I'm not sure about the masks, etc. But these are some of the precautions they've taken for the moment. Do you think that there's more that needs to go into it?
Yes and no. My yes being that, what's the point of wearing a mask and gloves in a contact sport? Like, we witnessed the Bundesliga games that happened on the weekend, where the players on the bench had to sit a certain meter apart from each other, but on the football field they're getting into contact with each other, they're touching each other, they're in each other's faces. So it's kind of like, are they just doing this for the media, or
what?
What's the
get
point?
What you're saying. It's
how are they going to train? If for example, Rudiger from Chelsea has to tackle, I don't know, Tammy Abraham, how is he going to do that in training? What type of training do you do in that case? Do you just do passing, shooting? There's no, like, I don't get it. I don't understand how that's going to work out. And if they're training in this sense, what's going to happen when they have to play the match then?
You know, before there was the lockdown and football had to go on break, that come up with the rule that there can't be any pre-match handshakes, right? But after the game, you know, after a win or after a loss, you see the players hugging each other, you see them all touching each other, you know, exchanging. So, like, what's the point? You know, I think there's, like you said, there are certain things where there's not really a point to it. And I suppose that's where Troy Deeney comes in, because he's one of the players who decided, in fact he's the Watford captain, but he decided that he wasn't going to return to training outright. He wasn't going to follow or he wasn't going to participate in phase 1 of Project Restart. And he said that the reason why he would rather not go to training or rather not return to training is because he has a 5-month-old son who struggles with breathing. He has some breathing difficulties, and he would rather not put his child in a situation where he's probably going to be fighting for his life if he were to contract COVID-19. And what would you say about something like that? What do you think? Is he right? He is the captain of the team. Would he not be letting down his team by not leading by example, by not going to training, preparing for the Premier League to return?
Definitely not. I mean, if I was part of the Watford team and I saw my captain doing that, I would be really supportive of it. He's protecting the life of his child, and I'm pretty sure Watford can continue on without him. They have plenty of strikers. I know he's the captain, but you can appoint a vice captain. And what I was thinking about is what's going to happen to him. Is the FA going to fine him? Is Watford going to fine him? Or are they going to be supportive of his move? What happens if other players do not want to return as well? So one of the other Watford team members is like, I'm not going to go back to training. I don't want to risk my life. So what happens in that case? Because I don't think everybody's going to be on the same page as to wanting to return. Some people are going to be on Troy's side, wanting to continue the isolation.
Personally, I'm on Troy's side. I think he's doing the right thing. Priority should be the protection of lives or the saving of lives, and I mean, this is a 5-month-old child. You know, of course, that's what's going to be weighing in his mind. And he was kind of just in saying that he didn't want to return to training because there were tests done. There were 748 individuals who were tested, players and staff members working in the Premier League, so players, etc. And of them, there were 6 positive COVID-19 results. One of them that was revealed was the assistant manager at Burnley, Ian Wone. He was one of the 6 individuals. Then Watford themselves, they have 3 individuals who tested positive. One of them was another player, was Mariappa. He tested positive for COVID-19, and then 2 staff members. So imagine Troy Deeney went to training, and maybe somebody else might not show the symptoms, but they could be a carrier of the virus.
Exactly.
And then they infect him.
You can be a silent carrier.
Exactly. You know, so I think he did the right thing. And I mean, he's not the only person. We also have Danny Rose. He also spoke out about it. He didn't outright say he's not going to return to training. He did say that he misses football. He really wants to get back on the field. But he says that he feels like they're guinea pigs and lab rats, and because they're earning so much money, they're expected to follow through with this project, see if it works, and take things from there. And he's right, because I was going through Twitter feeds and news, etc., of the story of what he said. What he did say was that he can imagine somebody sitting at home thinking, you're making this much money, so like you should be out there, you know. And I'm checking out some comments on Twitter and on Sky Sports Facebook page and all of these things, and it's so many people saying things like, you know what, you do earn so much money, so why can't you go out there? If you try to earn as much money as an average UK working class person, then you could maybe talk, but it must be nice being so privileged that you can say that you don't want to go back to your job because you're scared. I mean, what is that? You know? So to be fair, I'm perfectly on their side in terms of them not wanting to return to training. But let's look at it now from the Premier League's point of view. They want to restart. They want to get football going again. What happens?
But for what reasons?
There's many reasons, you know. If we're looking at it on both sides of the spectrum, the Premier League isn't just football and entertainment. It's also a business for certain clubs and individuals. Right? I heard at one time, I was in the UK not too long ago, and of course I'm not going to name which clubs I'm talking about in this case, but they were busy having talks about relegation and being afraid of relegation. And if a club gets relegated, they lose so much money that they have to let go of so much staff members. And now there's so much of that happening at the moment. These clubs aren't having any revenue coming in, and there's a lot of people who aren't working. And for them, it's not just a game. For them, it's their livelihoods. For them, without football, they can't put food on the table for their families, for their mothers, their fathers, their grandparents, their children, their cousins, things like that. So, of course, from the Premier League's point of view, it might be looked at in a more business sense, but there are people who are counting on football to return because they really do need the money. So now what happens if there is a team like Watford, for example? Half the players don't return to training, half the players aren't willing to play. Does that mean the Premier League isn't going to return? Does that mean that Watford is going to be fined? Does that mean that Watford is going to forfeit their matches by default? What's a scenario that you see happening with something like this if players do not want to return to training or matches?
Yeah, we have a lot of unanswered questions because from what we've heard on the news, there's no clear message that's being put out by the FA and all the clubs. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and like you said, football is a business and a lot of people depend on it, but there's still lives at risk, and there's also the role of the government. I don't want to go political, but if the government wants to support the FA and the football coming back, then they should have subsidies in place to help certain individuals working in the football world and the football industries. Like you said, if someone is really dependent on it, then if they want to keep them going, keep the economy going, then the government should impose or put in some type of subsidies that will help them. If not, people are going to go out of business. And obviously this is happening all around the world where people are losing jobs and there's no income coming in because of the whole coronavirus. So I think there needs to be a clear message set out, firstly, so that everybody can understand what's going to happen if certain circumstances happen. Or I don't know, if, like you said, if Watford can't train, can't play matches, what's going to happen? We need those answers from them.
And I suppose it's extremely difficult because we don't actually know, or we've never been through something like this, or at least not in my lifetime. And if it's not in my lifetime, not in yours either. But we've never seen something like this. Obviously, they've not taken any precautions for things like this. We can see it with contract disputes, with a lot of players being asked to take a pay cut. Just all of these things are happening around them and around us as well in general, that they don't know what to do. And I do believe that Troy Deeney said that he asked some of these questions, like, what about the people who are more likely to contract the virus? What about the people who are more likely to be ill longer than others? Is there going to be extra screening done? Is there going to be extra precautions taken? But he also said that they didn't have any answers for him. And it's not about the fact that they didn't want to give him answers, but they didn't know. They also didn't know. So it could also be.
Then in such cases, then they should not go forward with the whole restart. If they can't answer such questions, then what's the point of restarting? Because they're going to be dealing with the situation as it happens. So now Watford can't play a game. What are they going to do? They have to come up with a solution in that very moment, and that solution might not be for the best outcome. So it's very vague, and I don't know. I mean, if they can follow what Germany has done, then maybe it could work out. Because I feel like the Germans have already done a whole risk assessment of the possible outcomes then.
But that's also difficult to say, because I mean, before the league started, wasn't there a news thing of about 10 to 12 players, not even staff members, 10 to 12 players in the top and bottom league, so Bundesliga and the league right under that had tested positive for COVID-19. I think it was something ridiculous, like it was 5 or 4 days before the restart of the Bundesliga, but they still went ahead with it. So maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe they are hiding something. I don't know. But well,
Yeah. Well, or maybe they should consult with the Bundesliga, or wait until 2 weeks to see what the outcome of the Bundesliga will be, and then they do the project restart, because then you'll have an idea of what happens within 2 weeks. It's kind of like a case scenario that Germany's doing for the world.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. And well, you know what? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. As somebody who's worried about the health of individuals, I really hope that they get this right. I really hope that they figure out how to make this work without jeopardizing the lives of the players, of the staff members, and eventually when they start phasing fans into the game, which I only believe will happen next year. I really hope that everything is sorted before they get going. But as a fan of football itself, man, I can't wait. I'd like to see a ball being kicked. I'd like to continue with Fantasy Premier League. I'd love to celebrate with the players, even if albeit behind the screen. I'd love to celebrate when Bruno Fernandes scores a worldie against Willy Caballero. You know, something like that.
He had to bring in. Why can't he score against Hugo Lloris?
You see, for anyone who doesn't know, Thomas is a Chelsea fan. So, of course, I have to throw that in. But, you know, against... Oh, no, not Willy Caballero, against Kepa Arrizabalaga. That would be wonderful, you know, things like that. So, man, I'm curious.
It could be Willy. It could be Willy, given the transfer market happening and being a fallout. Well, I wouldn't say a fallout, but there's rumors of Kepa potentially not being a starter for Chelsea anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised. That would be the second coach. So, yeah, I mean. But you know what? We will have to save Chelsea for another video. For now, I think that's it. I think that's going to be our chat on phase 1 project restart. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Should the Premier League continue? Should the Premier League not continue? If you want to see more videos like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification icon as well, so you know when the next video will be released. Check out some of the other videos that we have on the channel, such as the show Who Would You Choose, where we take two players or two individuals, or no, rather two players who are held to high esteem in their positions, and we compare them. One is retired, one is current, and we see who you would rather choose to be in your team. And Thomas, I want to thank you again. He's referring to the video that I did, Thierry Henry versus Sergio Aguero. The link will be in the description. Go ahead and give it a watch. Then, of course, comment who you would rather have in your team. And Thomas, I want to thank you for joining today on this video. Thank you
for having me.
And of course, we'll be speaking again soon. We've got some talk about Chelsea to do as well. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that much more than this COVID-19, because I'm tired. I'm tired of COVID-19. I just want to go out. I want to watch football. I want to play football myself.
We're ready. I'm dying to get back onto the court or get back onto the field, whether it's 5-a-side or 11-a-side. I feel like I'm still ready to go.
That fitness might hit you hard, though. But
it's definitely gonna hit hard. But what can we do? You know, what can we do? But Thomas, thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace out.
All right. Thank you so much. And once again, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next video is released. Talk to you soon. God bless.